And then in October of 1935, they bought the land where the fire would eventually occur and built a 2-story, 8-room house with a full basement. Giannullo agreed to co-sign the loan for the house under the condition that he be made beneficiary of the home insurance, and George agreed. And the amount for the home insurance initially was $1,500.
I'm sensing a clue. Is that a clue?
Hint, hint.
Okay. Is this George and Jennie? I was trying to show
Yes,
a picture.
it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So show a picture of George and Jennie. This is in front of the original billboard. What is that right?
This is in front of the second billboard.
Oh, the second billboard. Okay.
Yes,
gotcha.
there were 3 total.
What year was this?
I'm not sure what year that was.
I'm gonna guess. I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess 60s. But,
yeah.
But yeah. All right.
And
Carry
then,
on.
Sometime in 1943, George decided to part ways with Giannullo, and he bought the Dempsey Transfer Company and ended up changing the name to the Sodder Trucking Company, and ran it with the help of his 2 oldest sons, John and Joe, and Jennie was in charge of handling the books. It is rumored that Giannullo was not very happy with this decision.
And that's your great-great-grandpappy? Or great-grandpappy?
Great.
Well, Joe would be...
Joe was my great-grandpa.
Gotcha,
yeah.
okay.
And then by 1945, they had 10 children. So they added Jennie, Betty, and Sylvia.
What was the age range between...
I believe John was... Dang, I should have looked at this. 22, I believe.
Okay.
And Sylvia, the youngest, was 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was in 1945.
In 1945, yes.
Out of 10 kids, so 4 and 22 is the range.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
And I mean, like, they were Italian, right? But,
yes, they were Italian. Yes.
I mean, that's very... So, like, my grandmother is Italian. She is the baker's dozen. She's one of 13.
Manja.
Yeah, so it was very common.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do? Let's be honest. There's no phones.
Yeah.
You're going to read and have babies. I mean, that's pretty much all you're going to do. Carry on. And own trucking companies. My man's an entrepreneur. I'm liking this growth.
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to get into the fire. So around 60 days before the fire, Giannullo sent his friend and insurance salesman, Rosser Long, to the Sodder residence to try to convince George to raise the insurance currently on the house and also to take out life insurance on every member of his family. But George declined. I will go ahead and tell you, after the fire, it was learned that Giannullo raised the house insurance anyways without telling George from $1,500 to $1,750, and it was paid out to Giannullo after the fire.
After the fire? He raised it after the fire?
He raised it before the fire.
Before the fire.
But then it was paid out after the fire.
I was going to say, what kind of requirements they had?
But he didn't tell George that he raised it.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's odd.
And okay, so Giannullo then visited them and stated, there is a cuss word in this, but I'm not saying the cuss word part.
I can beep it. Or do we?
No, I'll just say the other way to say it. So he stated, "I see you have refused to take out insurance and refused to sign the papers to settle Mrs. Sodder's father's estate. Your gosh dang house is going to go up in smoke, and your children are going to be destroyed, and you're going to be paid for the dirty remarks you've been making about Mussolini."
Hold on. Who said this?
Giannullo.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, now blasphemy, that's a whole new level. We didn't know it was blaspheming, but okay, that's on record?
Yes.
When did he say this?
He said it, not exactly sure, but he showed up to do the insurance around 60 days before the fire. So shortly after that, Giannullo visited them and said this. And it is true that George was not a fan of Mussolini. He was very outspoken about it, and he even stated that he would not raise sons for him.
Can y'all, whoever can take this, Mussolini, why is that significant in history? What did he do? Didn't he get killed by citizens? Didn't he get, like, I don't know, something happened? Y'all went to college. Y'all gotta explain here. Josie's gonna look that up.
Dictator. I can tell you that. Yeah, an Italian dictator. At the point of the fire, I don't remember if he was already passed, but he wasn't in power at the time of the
He died a couple months before.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Mussolini did?
Yeah, Mussolini did.
Okay. Wasn't he killed by citizens? Wasn't he like executed or something like that? Man, this is terrible that I'm Josie will look it up. All right. I just want to give context here because is there potential mob ties or is that jumping ahead too much? Like
jumping ahead. I'll get it.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Carry on. So, well, and I want to clarify, how is this on record? Is this who said that he said this? Is that kind of he said, she said type stuff?
It is. They literally put it in one of the fire marshal reports.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And go ahead and guess, guys. You think he was ever questioned?
I'm going to say probably not. I mean, you might as well just put your fingers in your ears and be like, I don't know.
Did he live local though? Like, did he live far from?
No, he was a Fayetteville businessman.
So did he know the other parties involved, like the fire chief and?
I'll get into that too.
Some of that small town.
Him and his cousin were pretty big in the town at the time. His cousin was a stonemason, and a lot of the buildings in Fayetteville he built. And they owned a lot of buildings then too.
I wonder if he worked on the wall in Welch. There's Italian stonemason wall all through Welch, and it is so gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but he might have.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
And then sometime after the threat made by Junilo, but before the fire, a man came to the Sodder residence and asked George if he needed any work done. We don't know who this man was, but it's believed that George did know who it was. And after George said no, the man walked around to the back of the house, pointed at the two separate fuse boxes, and said, "That's going to start a fire someday." And George was like, "Well, we have an electric stove and we have to have an extra fuse box for it. And those were literally just installed. Like they're brand new." Mm-hmm. And the electrician like cleared it and said everything was good. Mm-hmm. And then the man left. And for about a week leading up to the fire, the Sodders report an automobile being parked across the street with a man inside that watched the house and watched the children getting off the bus. The day of the fire, George, John, and Ted were busy making deliveries, and Marion, who is the oldest daughter, she was working a shift at a local store. Marion arrived home with gifts for her younger siblings, and around 10:30, Jenny announced that it was time for bed, but Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty had asked to stay up to play with their toys and listen to the radio. Marion had already fallen asleep on the couch, which was a regular occurrence for her. She preferred to sleep on the couch, which I get.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
And Jenny agreed to let them stay up as long as they completed their chores before they went to bed, which included they had chickens, so they had to go outside and put the chickens up, and they might have had other animals too that they had to take care of. And then they had to close the blinds, lock the doors, and turn all the lights off. And so George, Jenny, Sylvia, John, and Ted were all in bed by 11.
And there were, 2 bedrooms that they all shared upstairs?
Yes, 2 bedrooms that they shared upstairs. Yeah.
That's probably why she wanted to sleep on the couch, because...
I put the outline of the house in that Google Drive.
Okay, I'm trying to find this Google Drive, and I don't see where it is. Let me log back in.
I added you to it. It just says Creepalachia.
Oh, does it say... It just says Creepalachia on
it.
Okay, let me make sure that I actually opened it and didn't miss it. But you can keep going.
Okay. So 11 o'clock is the last time that a member of the Sodder family saw any of the 5 children that would go missing. So at around 12:30 a.m., Jenny was woken up by a phone call. When she answered, she could hear laughing and talking in the background, and a woman asked her for someone that she didn't know. Jenny informed them that they had the wrong number, and they hung up.
I got the drive now, Miranda.
Okay.
Which one?
Floor plan.
Floor plan.